Hello out there, YouTube. This is my HP Vectra. This is a Series 3 5100. We're working on several of these back in high school of different models. Actually, I remember trying to see if I could take one since I was told recycle any after a certain number, even though it worked. I asked if I could take them home, however, the administrator of the program said I could not. So I ended up just buying one on eBay. And that one worked out pretty well until it got lost during a move at one point. It was very similar to this one. They originally shipped with it was a Series 5, I believe, originally shipped with a 133 megahertz processor, and ended up removing that and putting in a Pentium 200, although it was originally not meant for that, but it worked out pretty well. I also had put in a second floppy drive, even though this one doesn't have the space for it. This one came to me from the thrift store. There's a little bit of yellowing on it, and some damage to the case, little scratches here and there, but for the most part it cleaned up pretty well. There's also a gouge out of the corner there, a little big chip, but no big deal. Also, the lights didn't work on the original. I ended up replacing these with two bright blue ones. So it's not quite 100% original, but close enough. Go ahead and I'll pop the case. This one is also missing the cover. There's usually this big metal cover that wraps around that. I'm not certain why it's gone. Alright. This one has a single 1 gigabyte drive that I ended up salvaging. This one didn't have a drive in it at all. And let me remove the power supply. You can see I have the memory fully populated on this one. Also only 64 megabytes of RAM, oddly enough. And then I have three cards in here. The onboard Cirrus logic does not work correctly. It has some issues with the video displaying wrong colors. So I end up putting in this S3 Trio card. This works pretty well. Then I also have a this is a Realtek, pretty common 8139 10100 adapter. Then down here I have a Sound Blaster 16 Vibra. This is the lower cost model, but still works with the Sound Blaster drivers, no big deal. Alright, let me get the cover back on and I'll give it a fire up. Like I said earlier, the lights have been changed. Oops, so it would help if I connect the power, right? Alright. Like I said, the lights are new. Alright. You can skip the memory test. Yeah, looks like I did load Windows 95 in this. Yes, I kept the original setup wallpaper, although more or less this is meant to be a clone of, I guess, of how it was when I was going through high school, and almost all of them were set up similar to this, with the same wallpaper, same tiling. Got a handful of programs and games on here, such as Microsoft Office 97, and couple of Sonic games ported over to the PC, and Semantic C++, and a couple of other Maxis games, things that would be appropriate for the time. Different from other machines, this one doesn't really have too many DOS-based games on it, although it would have a little trouble running them. As you can see, it's all in. Okay. Oh. Looks like I put a Linksys adapter. I thought it was a Realtek. No biggie. It still is online, connects okay. One thing, I don't really have any modern browsers on it, as there are none released for Windows 95. At some point I was looking to possibly put a second hard drive into this. I'd have to fabricate a mount similar to its predecessor. However, let's see on this one. Let's see, it appears to be a saved stuff from a disk. I also, for some reason, have a copy of Netscape 2 on here. However, as you'll see, it has some issues rendering modern websites. Yeah, go ahead, Netscape. Not like it makes a difference. And of course, home.netscape.com doesn't work. But not a big deal. You could tell it to go other places. However, it'll pop up with many of these syntax errors. And apparently this is what Google looks like, modern Google as of January of 2015 looks like on Netscape 2. Anyways, go ahead and leave a comment if you have one.